games. Whoop, let's go. Hursty games, and this how we do. Now it's time we team up.
Hey there guys, welcome back to Hursty Games and welcome to a video on FIFA 20. And today I'm looking at some of my suggestions for some pretty beastly looking FIFA 20 concept starter squads. Now before we get into this, I've used FootWiz. I'm sure it's a website a lot of you guys know. If you go onto footwiz.com, go onto the bit at the top here that says builders, and you will see there is a little section that says FIFA 20 squad builders. You click on that and you get the page that I'm currently on, and it will show you can build your own squads with the concept cards in FIFA 20. Now as far as I'm aware, they've added a lot of the cards. I don't know if every single player on the FIFA 20 database is in there yet, but I'm well aware that there are pretty much everyone. You can search for pretty much any player that's in the game and you will find them. Now before we get into this, I have looked at some of the top leagues. So I have looked at the Premier League, the Bundesliga, the Italian League and the Spanish League. Those four leagues are the four leagues I've looked at today. If you want to see some concept squads from some other leagues as well, make sure you let me know in the comment section down below. Mention a league and I will make a team around that league that I think will be somewhat affordable and pretty decent at the start of FIFA 20. But without further ado, we're going to get into it and start off with the Premier League team for my concept squad. Let's go. Okay, so we're getting into the Premiership team and you can see it here on the screen. This is the first squad I have put together for this video, and I've started, like I said, with the Prem team, and this team I think looks pretty darn tasty. Now there are a few players in here that prices could vary a little bit, but we'll get into those and we'll discuss those as we go through. So we're going to start off looking at Fabianski, an 82 rating. You'll notice that no one in this team, and indeed any of the other teams, are higher than an 82 rated. That is mainly because I think 83 rated cards are going to be pretty high in price as the game first comes out. They're not obviously going to be massively packed straight away. And this is obviously on the 24th on the 3-day early access, possibly in the early access, like the 10 hours we get from, I think it's the 19th. Not too, I mean, a lot of packs will probably be open, but the 83 plus cards, a lot of people are probably going to hold on to. So for the first couple of weeks of the game, I think these players will be somewhat affordable. If you open up a couple of packs that you get through rewards, you don't even have to spend like your actual money. I reckon just playing the game, you can get a team like this after a week or so, and I think this is a very, very good starting team. So Fabianski for me, very, very solid looking goalkeeper. 84 reflexes, 82 positioning, two really, really big stats. 83 handling, sorry, is also quite nice. And 80 diving, pretty sound. Wan-Bissaka, this is the first card I would say that is maybe another card that might be changed. I'll put maybe another option if Wan-Bissaka potentially gets a one to watch. That's the main reason I think Wan-Bissaka might be up for possibly needing to be changed. Just because if he gets a one to watch, his card might not be in packs from the get-go, and it could be that his card is then obviously extinct, or if not very, very high price because he's in demand but has a one to watch, a special card out, so won't be in packs. So that one, take with a pinch of salt. I'll put a card above me as a potential replacement. This little space up here will be for maybe some special cards that might be coming out and possible replacements for some of these cards if I think in the edit of players that maybe are a nice little rotation between those. Getting into the centre-backs, Lindelof and Zuma, two very, very good looking cards in my opinion. Both very, very defensive. They've got nice defensive stats with 78 and 82. 83 physical and 78 physical. I thought basically I've got one with very high defensive stats and one with very high physicality stats. They kind of even each other out. Lindelof, very, very quick, 74 pace. I really thought he was going to have a slightly higher rated card. I thought he was going to be an 83. The fact he's an 81, I think is fantastic. I think he's going to be very, very usable early on. His price might be a little bit higher to start off with, but I think he'll be the kind of card that maybe just slips under the radar a little bit. 72 passing, 73 dribbling. I honestly think this is a really, really good centre-back card. It has such good stats for a card like this. Great dribbling and great passing is exactly what you kind of need to play out from the back. So fantastic little partnership there. Tierney, another one to maybe take with a slight pinch of salt in case he gets a one to watch. We don't know all the one to watch cards. They haven't been confirmed. A 76 rating. I think he'll be kind of like the Hernandez card was for Real Madrid in FIFA 19. I think he'll be a little bit inflated initially, but will drop relatively quickly in price just because people will maybe, there'll be like a special left back that comes out at some point and Tierney's price will go down a little bit. Only slight issue for this card for me was the defense only at 71. If you boost that with something like a Sentinel, you'll be looking at 80 plus defense and a very, very high physicality then for a fullback as well, looking in the 90s. So Tierney looks really, really solid, 88 pace, nice looking card, but again, if there's a possibility of one to watch, there'll be a replacement above me. And Didi, fantastic card, has always been really, really good for starter squads in FIFAs, any FIFA. And indeed, I think this year will be the same thing. I'm hoping his price is slightly lower just because he's still a fairly low rated card, 81. I think that's a really, really nice look for the overpowered looking card. 71 pace, decent for that CDM position, nice dribbling, okay passing, shooting. I mean, the passing I'd like to be a bit nearer the 70s. That would be one of the stats I would boost. 83 defense, 82 physicality is beautiful for a CDM. He's quite tall as well, so it's definitely going to win those balls in the air. Looking at the left, Trossard. I think Trossard is going to be a card that goes very much under the radar. Really nice looking card. Basically, he doesn't have 90 plus pace, so a lot of people are just going to ignore him. But the guy has 80 shooting for a 79 rated left mid. That is fantastic. You're going to struggle to find 79 rated strikers with 80 shooting. The fact you can get a left mid with that, fan-bloomin-tastic, lads. I definitely think he's going to be beautiful. 82 rating on the dribbling. Sorry, 82 dribbling is what I meant to say there as well. Good passing. I think he's going to be really, really good. And I do genuinely think he's going to be ridiculously cheap. On the other side, possibly, I think, will maybe be the most expensive player in this squad, if it isn't maybe Lindelof, and that is St. Maximin, and that is just because he has been hyped up so much by so many of the big streamers and stuff, and all these people at the events. I've seen a lot of videos on St. Maximin looking like he's an absolute baller, so his price might be slightly inflated. Again, I will show another card that I think is more likely to be cheaper. But if he's one of those cards that, even though people know he's overpowered and he's still on that cheaper side, I think he's going to be an absolute baller. Really, really quick. I'm pretty sure he's got 4 or 5 star skill. He's 86 dribbling, which is insane. Not overly physical. Hasn't got the best shooting stat, but from what I've seen, can score some worldies. So if you boost that shooting, maybe boost that physicality and or the passing a little bit, you're going to be scoring goals for fun with this guy. So definitely recommend him for the overpowered or good starter squad for the Prem. Then we've got Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain in the middle. I think this guy's card is going to be really, really good this year. A very nice looking cam card. It's that kind of card that looks like it could play out wide if it was a tad quicker, but with an 80 plus pace on a cam, that's always very nice to have if you can get that kind of stat. Only other option I was kind of deciding between was him and Madison. If Madison was given a better card, I think Madison could and or should have been a low 80, like an 81, 82. Sadly, he didn't get that, but if he had, I probably would have put him in over Oxlade-Chamberlain, but I think Chamberlain's going to be a bit of a baller. Nice passing, great dribbling, decent pace, good shooting, and not bad physicality either, so definitely wins that cam spot for me on this starter squad. And up front, we've gone with the Bournemouth duo of Wilson and King. They always do bits for me in every single FIFA, and I don't see why, after looking at these cards that they've been given this year, they aren't going to do the same thing for me here. Both very quick, both got good shooting, both got great dribbling, both physical. Passing and defense are pretty much the same. They're almost identical cards, but I think they're going to be a great little partnership. So I definitely recommend those. I reckon this whole squad, it's very difficult. I'm probably not actually going to say prices. I was going to try and give you a price prediction. I'm not going to do that because I don't know. At the end of the day, I don't know what the prices are going to be, so I'm not going to try and predict and be completely wrong. So I just think this team will be a budgeted squad, good for a starter team, good to build on with some informs potentially coming out with some special cards, like I said, potential one-to watches and stuff. So definitely this team I think will be great for a BPL starter squad. Let's get on to the next one. Up next, I've gone with a Bundesliga squad. Now, the Bundesliga one was a bit tricky because there's so many good, low-rated, overpowered-looking cards. It was really, really difficult not to miss out on so many of these beautiful cards. I've gone with the 4-3-2 one with the left wing, right wing striker, 3 CMs, and I think this squad looks really, really tasty, and I think a lot of these cards are going to be super, super cheap after maybe even a week or 2 weeks. I think this squad will be super budget and very, very good to start off with. But to get into the team first, we're going to go with Baumann. Baumann with an 82. He's downgraded from the 83 he had last year. Very nice looking stats. Doesn't look too dissimilar from his card he had last year. And Baumann at the start of last year, pretty overpowered. Used him in the beta. Obviously the beta, you can't necessarily run and think that they're going to play that in the real game. But he was quite good for me in the beta. I actually really, really enjoyed using him. So potentially a good keeper to start off with there. Then I'll go with Mbabu. Mbabu's card looks nuts. Now he's in the Bundesliga. 91 pace, 72 defense, 82 physical is ridiculous. Decent dribbling as well, which is something you kind of want from your fullback. Not bad passing either, but a really good 77 rated card. He looks way, way higher rated than that. If that defense was just a little bit higher, that card would be ridiculously overpowered. But I think Mbabu's going to be really good. Next card, a card I really think that's going to go under the radar. Brooks. Look at this card. If his physicality was nearer those 80 marks, this card would be like a low 80 rated card according to like FIFA's stats. This card looks really, really nice. Plus he's got that 71 pace, pretty speedy for a centre back, 80 defence, 75 physical. Honestly, in my opinion, Sentinel on this, you're looking at nearly 90 defence, you're looking at high 80s in the physicality, and this card will do bits for you. A 71 pace machine running with 80 plus physical and nearly 90 defence is going to do you absolute wonders. The guy's a baller, and I really think his card looks good. And next to him, I've gone with Zagadou. Now, the Leipzig centre-backs, the French Leipzig centre-backs, look incredible. They look really, really good, but they look like they're going to be pricey. I think for this reason, Zagadou is going to slip under the radar a little bit because he's not quite as quick. That is the main thing. He's only got 62 pace. To me, that is high enough for a defender, especially when they've got 80 defense, 80 physical. That's really, really good. Nice high stats for a starting centre-back. Him and Brooks, I think, will be a fantastic partnership, and I think they will be a really, really good centre-back pair to go for if you're running a Bundesliga team to start off with. Then we go to Hakimi on the left, 79 rated, 92 pace, really, really nice. He basically, minus the physicality, looks almost a carbon copy of Mbabu, but with increased dribbling, and that to me means business. That means he's going to do really, really good and play really, really well. Okay, now we get onto the midfield. I've gone with my usual kind of tactic of having a defensive midfielder, a slightly more attacking midfielder, and then an all-round midfielder. So let me get into those. Starting off with the attacking midfielder, I've gone with Vitus. I'm probably absolutely butchering that, and I'm going to have a bunch of Dutch people shouting at me for not being able to say his name right, but that's what I'm going with. His card looks tasty. 85 pace, 80 dribbling, a really nice creative looking midfielder, 74 passing to get those balls into the front three, 70 shooting, not amazing, but I do think that will probably be enough as long as his stats actually kind of reflect the rest of his card. Looks really good and creative, and for me, the main thing with this guy, like I said, he's going to be getting those passes into that front three and creating chances for them. So his shooting isn't the end of the world. The fact he's got okay shooting means he can maybe try a couple of long shots, but the fact that he's got the great dribbling, the great pace, hopefully some skill moves. I don't know this guy's skill moves off the top of my head, but I think he's going to be a really, really nice addition to your midfield. Defensively, I've gone with Zakaria. This guy's card looks immense. He looks like his Footmas card in FIFA 19, and that was ridiculously overpowered. This card looks gorgeous. Just take a look at those stats. 82 pace, 75 dribbling and passing, 79 defense, and 82 physicality. I'm pretty sure he's 6 foot something as well. He's pretty tall as far as I can remember. This guy's card looks awesome. I honestly think this is one of the best budget CDM looking cards I've seen in the FIFA 20 cards so far. Him and Ndidi for me are right up there with those CDM spots. For me, a Bundesliga starter squad would not be complete without Zakaria. I honestly think he's the MVP of this team, minus one that we'll get onto in a minute. Then we've got Eggstein. I don't know if that's how it's said, but he's my kind of all-round midfielder. Everything in the 70s. Really nice looking card. Great dribbling, great physicality, good passing as well. Defense and pace both at 73, and then 70 shooting being his lowest on-card stat. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. I really do think this guy's going to be a nice little under the radar again, because it's nice, well-rounded stats, but he doesn't have that one big stat to kind of make his card go up in price. But I do think this guy will be very, very good for your team. Now into the front three. Starting on the left-hand side, the Kosovan beast that is Rashica. 90 pace, 78 shooting, 82 dribbling. Do I need to say too much more? Probably not, but we will anyway. This guy's card looks absolutely beautiful. I really do think he'll be a cheap beast. He was pretty good at the start of this year. I think this, like on FIFA 20, sorry, pretty good at the start of 19, I should say, but at the start of 20, I think he's going to be an absolute main staple in so many Bundesliga squads, and I do think he's going to be perfect to fill that role of the starter squad left-hand side attacking player for the Bundesliga. Really, really nice card. A slight different style of card on the other side, but Skov, between these two guys, they've both got 77 and 78 shooting. That's really good for wingers, really, really good for wingers, which is why I went for the 4-3-2-1. Nice, decent pace. Rashka obviously being much, much quicker than Skov, but 82 is nothing to turn your nose at that. Really nice, really creative to get that speed up there and then whip that ball into the main man, Bastos. Now, Bastos is obviously in there as a slight novelty, because if you do or do not know, Bastos is an absolute hero to me. But I do have to say, I use Bastos on the beta. Again, the beta is not everything, and I realise the game is going to change a multiple amount of times between now and between the beta, the demo, and then the full game release. Dost was a baller. Dost scored goals for fun. The guy had long shots, the guy could head it, the guy could tap ins, whatever. 50 pace did not mean a thing. He was really, really clinical and really, really good. I promise you, I wouldn't put him in this team if I didn't actually think he was great. I will show another example of a striker above as well that I decided in the edit that could also do you bits. So I will put that there just for the sake of arguments. I don't want to upset people by them thinking I'm just messing about by putting Dost in. Really do think he was a good card though. But hopefully, this squad could do bits for you. I think the defence and midfield, especially in this, are solid. Only thing with the keeper, obviously Bauman was great for me in the beta, as I said, but the keeper could be flexible. And like with most of the teams, you just have to find a keeper that kind of is quite overpowered for a cheap price to fit in there. But these are just keepers that, looking at their face card stats, I think do look like they could do the business for you. But for me, this team would be the kind of team that you just work, build up from the back, and then get a lot of crosses in or play some nice football through the middle of the park. And I do think this squad would do really, really well at the start of FIFA 20. Okay, now into the Liga Santander, onto the Spanish team. One little thing as well, you guys may be noticing I'm trying to mix the formations up. I'm trying to do a different formation with each team. Hopefully you guys can appreciate that, so it shows a little bit of versatility and that I'm not just one track mind sticking to a specific formation. But the 4-4-2 with the Liga Santander, I've gone with Jordi Massive. Not a player that I particularly know. I assume he's had quite an upgrade from the previous game, because I think that team were in the Liga Santander last year, but I might be wrong. But his card looks really, really good. It looks somewhat similar to Asenio, who got an 82, but I just think this guy will probably be that little bit cheaper, maybe because he's a little bit less heard of for the majority of FIFA fans. I could be wrong, it could just be that I'm naive about it, but I think his card looks pretty decent and should be relatively cheap. Kappa at right back looks awesome. Really, really nice card. He always seems to have a pretty good well-rounded card. The big stat for me is 83 physicality on a winger is also a wing back, a fullback is awesome. Really, really nice stat to have. To go with that 82 pace and the 73 defense is not too bad. 76 dribbling should mean he gets up the pitch nice as well. For me, I just look to boost that defense a little bit, just so it's nearer that 80 mark. But I think Kappa is a really nice looking right back. Next to him, a player who was insanely good for me last year at the start of my RTG, and that is Gabriel Paulista. Seems to always be a bit of a beast. Always seems to be someone that's like overlooked. Last year he was 800 coins after about 2 weeks. I don't think he's going to drop quite that quickly or to quite that low, but I do think he's going to be cheap. 71 pace, again, fantastically quick for a centre-back. 83 defence, 81 physicality. I mean, that's just brilliant. 69 passing for a centre-back's decent as well to get the ball coming out of the defence. But for me, Paulista seems to always be a fantastic centre-back, and I don't see that FIFA 20 will be any different. I do think he's going to be a beast yet again. Next to him, Mario Hermoso, getting himself a transfer to Atletico Madrid, I believe. So again, one to watch, maybe not quite as likely as some of the other ones we've looked at, but this guy's card looks really, really tasty. 79 pace for a centre-back is unbelievable. He's pretty much as quick as the left back. Really, really nice. For me, because he's so quick, just whack a Sentinel on. He's got 79 defense and 77 physical already. You're then looking at just below the 90s, high 80s for both of those stats. 72 passing and 71 dribbling. Again, for a centre-back, you're looking at like Lindelof, whose stats look amazing for a centre-back, to again play out from the back. And the defensive capabilities of Paulista would mean if he does drift off a little bit, you're probably going to be okay with Paulista back there. And Yuri Beresh, I'm just going to call him Yuri, it's going to be a lot easier. Yuri on the left-hand side should also come in cover. Looks like a really nice card. Nice and physical again, 81 physicality. Him and Kappa on the wing-backs are going to be nice and physical. You're not going to get out-muscled out on the wings too often. 78 defense is really nice. 74 dribbling to get up that pitch. 71 passing as well, which is really, really good. Potentially has some good crosses on there. 80 pace. For me, I'd maybe up the pace just a little bit. Like if you added like an anchor there, not going to be cheap at the start of the game, but something like that eventually will really boost this card and give him some fantastic stats going forward. In front of him, we have Piatti. Piatti is going to be cheap. Piatti is just going to be cheap. And this card looks really, really good. 84 pace. Not amazing. A lot of people will be looking for 90 plus for a winger. I don't think this FIFA demands 90 plus pace for a winger. 84 feels like it should be enough. 79 dribbling, very, very high stat. 72 shooting, decent. You've got two very good strikers in here, so you're not going to rely on your winger shooting too much, but I think 72 is very, very good for a left mid. 75 passing as well. Really, really nice. A nice, well-rounded card that I think should be very cheap, but very, very effective. In the middle, Herrera. Another card we're looking at with 70 plus from every single stat, and this card looks naughty. Very, very good. Box to box midfielder pretty much here. 75 passing and 75 shooting and 76 dribbling. Very creative, very nice looking. Should pick up some pop shots potentially on the edge of the box kind of situation. Play those nice final through balls into your strikers. Very, very good card, but has the defensive capabilities with 78 defense and 81 physicality. Really, really good card. I really like the look of this card. Herrera's always been a bit of a sort of maybe man for me in some teams, and I thought, he looks okay. Then he gets like an inform or two, and I'm like, that card looks really, really nice and well-rounded. He's starting this year with a nice and well-rounded card, so keep your eyes peeled. If Herrera gets an inform, I think his card will be absolutely awesome. But I think his regular card is good enough for a Liga Santander starter team. Next to him, Party, defensive beast, absolute beast. This card could be a tad on the pricey side. He does sometimes start a little bit higher priced. For me, one of the more expensive cards initially in this team, along with one of the strikers that we'll look at in a second. But 73 pace, very nice. 77 dribbling, nice. Passing, nice. Shooting, 72, but he's not going to be forward too often. 84 physicality, which is what we want and need him for, and that 79 defense. Him and Herrera, honestly, if you ran them as CDMs, you'd still be doing bits. I think, honestly, they'd be doing so well. A perfect little partnership. Both fairly creative, both very defensive, and both more than capable of pushing forward as well. For me, possibly the best midfield partnership out of all of the ones we've looked at for like a defensive partnership. If you were to run this, maybe with one striker and a cam as well, find a nice creative attacking midfielder and run those two as CDMs would also work perfectly fine. But on the right hand side, we have gone with Melendo, hoping I'm saying that right. Again, not massively quick, but again, a card I think will be really, really good. 82 pace, which for me is okay. Boost that a little bit if you really want the speed boost on that, but for now should be fine. 81 dribbling, more than good enough. 71 shooting is an okay stat for a winger. Again, you're going to rely on your forwards to shoot more than your wingers, but he's got enough shooting to give it a go. 77 passing is decent. 61 physicality, is not too bad for a winger, so that's okay. But for me, a nice, well-rounded looking right mid. Him and Piatti, both fairly similar rates, like sort of in regards to quality, very similar, and I do think that they will both be very, very good cards for you. Up front, we've gone with Mariano, who last year was a one to watch, didn't really live up to the hype, but I do think this year has a very nice looking card to start your team in. 82 pace, which is more than enough for a striker. 80 shooting, which is fantastic. As we said before, for starter squads, 80 shooting on any attacking position is fantastic, and I do think this is going to be a really, really good card for that. Nice physicality as well, 80 physicality, which is really, really good. I don't know his height, but mate, he seems like a really good hold-up player to then pass it off to your other striker as well in 89 pace, 81 shooting. Morales, really nice looking card. I do think he's going to be, this was the striker I was talking about earlier, a tad on the pricier side, but I don't think he's going to be extortionate. I do think he's going to be very, very attainable after a short period of time. 85 dribbling, by the way, incredible. What a fantastic rating of dribbling, like a fantastic stat for a striker of this kind of rating. Again, 82, more than usable. I think this team is going to be one of the highest scoring teams out of all the ones I've made. Like I said, with the Bundesliga, a nice sort of build up from the back, play nicely. This one, I think you're going to get goals for fun. Great attacking partnership. Midfield partnership, very, very strong, and has the ability to go forward as well. I think this team looks really clean, really, really nice, and very, very capable, and very affordable as well. I love this team. And for the final team of today's video, we have gone over to the Calcio, over to Italy to make a nice new team here. Let's get into it. Without further ado, we're going to start off with Cragno. Again, another new keeper to me, not something I know too much about, but a really nice looking card. 88 reflexes is fantastic. Really, really good looking stat there alone. 84 diving is quite nice as well. Only thing for me, slightly low on the speed. 39 speed, I know keepers aren't quick anyway, but that is a tad slow for me, but that just means that when he's coming out, he's not going to be closing down too quickly, so you'll have to be quite quick on the mark if that's something you're thinking of doing. And the kicking doesn't look amazing, but hopefully, that's not the end of the world, but I do think his card looks okay. Another alternative would be Perrin. He's gone down to an 82 this year at Piemonte Calcio, also known as Juventus. But I think that all the Juventus, Piemonte Calcio players will be a little bit inflated just because of that novelty factor. I do think that will actually affect prices a little bit. I forgot to say, by the way, 4-1-3-2, somewhat similar to the 4-1-2-1-2 wide, but without a cam, a more sort of box-to-box midfielder instead of that straight attacking midfield player. Anyway, onto the right back position, Malkuit, I think that's how his name is said. What a looking card this is. This card looks really, really nice, really, really usable. Apart from the shooting, everything is 70 plus. For a right back, that's phenomenal. That's absolutely fantastic. He's got 85 pace, more than enough pace for me. He's got 78 dribbling, fantastic. 73 passing, 74 defense, and 75 physical. Nice and well-rounded. If you just kept a basic chem style on this, nearly everything goes to just short of an 80. Honestly, I think dribbling would go to an 80. And then you're looking at sort of the 77, 78 mark for the defense and physicality. So for me, really nice looking card there. Very good and usable, versatile right back. Next to him, another player that was in our RTG this season, and that was Murillo. I think he looks very, very nice, very, very usable. And again, a solid looking centre-back. 75 pace, more than enough for a centre-back. That's rapid for a centre-back. 79 defence and 80 physical is ridiculous. Absolute beast, absolute baller. I think he's going to be winning you tackles left, right and centre. Next to him, it almost feels weird to put this guy in any team, let alone an Italian league team, and that is Chris Smalling. Now, I think his card, the only reason his card will be expensive is potentially for like SBCs, because he's a good link to the English league. But it's Chris Smalling, and I think his card looks okay. 69 pace, more than enough. 79 defense and 81 physicality. That's a really nice starting rating for a starting squad. As long as he's usable in the game, I don't see why Smalling can't make a decent centre-back for a starting squad. I think his card looks annoyingly good, in fact. So I really am looking forward to trying this guy out. Like I said, the only thing that will maybe tweak his price is because he'll be super helpful for links to Prem teams and stuff like that. But regardless, Chris Smalling makes it into the team. Next, we've got Mario Rui. Now, I would have put Dalbert, but I think Dalbert will be expensive. I would have put Hernandez, but I think Hernandez will be expensive. And for that reason, I think Mario Rui would be a little bit on the cheaper side. There's one stat here that I really would want to boost. I put a Sentinel card in there because 67 physicality is a little bit weedy. It's a little bit weak, but if you put a Sentinel, you're looking at mid-70s, which is much, much better. And then you're looking at like low 80s for the defense stat as well, which is really, really good. But nice passing, very nice dribbling. He's going to get forward for you. I think this card will be very, very usable and very, very helpful for your starting team. CDM, Kessie. Kessie looks great. Another 70 all-rounder card. 78 defense and 88 physical. My God, you're not going to get this guy off the ball. Fantastic, a really usable card. 72 pace and shooting as well. 72 passing and 77 dribbling. So it's quite nice. He should be able to build out quite nicely, get it out wide or to your centre mid, who we'll get onto in a second. But I do think Kessie's going to be a really, really good and effective and cost-efficient player. Talking of the centre mid, we're going to Zielinski next, who I think is going to be an absolute baller. Shout out to Matty, by the way, my Polish friend. But this card is really, really nice. Good box to box. Physicality a little bit low, but I don't think that's the end of the world. 81 pace, 83 dribbling, 81 passing. Those are perfect stats for a creative central midfielder. So he's got that slightly more attacking role, but he has got that defensive stat as well to help him come back a little bit and maybe assist Kessie if he needs it. Out wide, we've got Verdi on the left and Chiesa on the right. Two very similar looking cards. Similar pace, similar shooting, similar dribbling. Only difference is, obviously, Chiesa is more physical and Verdi is better at passing. But both of those cards are going to be perfect cards to have out wide, to get the ball out there, be nice and creative with it, and then look to come in, maybe take a shot themselves. They've both got decent shooting stats, 73 and 74 respectively, or to play a nice through ball into our strikers. Our first striker, we've got Defrel. Defrel looks like a really, really nice usable card. 86 pace, 78 shooting, 81 dribbling. He's going to be a nice player to get that ball to. He's not overly physical. That was the only thing for me. It's a little bit deceptive. For me, looking at him, he looks like he should be a little bit more physical, be able to hold the ball up, but he's not too physical, so just bear that one in mind. But I do think he's going to be a really, really good striker and definitely worth picking up. And for me, the best player in this team is Rebic. Rebic's card looks filthy. 80 shooting, which is already fantastic to see on a card like this. 88 pace, which means he's going to be rapid. He's going to be getting up that pitch as quick as he wants. With the 78 dribbling, he should be dribbling pretty well and pretty efficiently with that ball too. 81 physicality, he's going to do the opposite of Defrel and hold that ball up perfectly. I really think Rebic is the complete striker for an 80 rated card at least, and I do think that he is going to be an absolute baller. But those are all of my teams. Hopefully you have enjoyed this. I've put this together, and I've had a lot of fun filming this, in all honesty. It's been really fun to make these teams. And like I said, if you want a specific league to be done, let me know in the comment section below, and I will happily do another one of these videos with another couple of teams, another couple of leagues as well. So make sure you let me know. Of course, if you have enjoyed the video, then please do leave a like. It means the absolute world to me. And of course, subscribe if you're new around here. FIFA 20 just around the corner. We have plenty of FIFA 20 content, and you could see some of these teams being used as we're doing a Road to Glory this season on our main account, trying to start from the bottom and build from there. So hopefully you've enjoyed this, guys, and of course, if you have, I hope to see you all very soon. But above all else, make sure you look after yourselves. All right, see you later. Talk to you soon. All the best.
Let's go. Hursty games, and this how we do. Now it's time we team up. Check them online, you might catch them playing FIFA. Hey, yeah, you know we keep it live. Make sure to give a like and subscribe. Gaming channel, what's the best one? Keep it hella dope, hella fresh, huh? Yeah, Hursty games, tune in. Even told my grandmama, sister, and my best friend. You might wanna check them if you wanna be entertained. You already know the name. Check us out, Hursty games. Hey, whoop. Make sure to give a like and subscribe.